Park Plaza Hotel. This is the Smoki Bacon and Dick Concannon Show with co-host Joanna DiTillo. So stay tuned. Our guest today is award-winning Linda Nathan. Linda Nathan teaches, but she also founded a school which she is the principal of, the Boston Arts Academy. It's located in the old arts group, which I loved, and I was so delighted to see the group, go into that building, because it's a beautiful building. But she has some rather unusual ways of teaching, and they have proved very successful, as 95% of her graduates are off to college. And God knows what would have happened to them had they not had the guiding hand of Linda Nathan and her incredible teachers. But I want to go into her ways of teaching, because it's not the usual rule book. And she has put together this book, The Hardest Questions Always on the Test, of her successes and your failures too, which is very impressive. If you would just in the beginning, I would like you to talk to our viewers about how you challenge the system. I heard somebody say the other night when we went to your thing, the school should be built around the student and not the building and not the organization. But if you would take it from there.
Well, thank you for having me. And we are located right in the Fenway neighborhood, right across the B gate from Fenway Park, which is a fun place to be. And one of the things I think we think about is how to make curriculum completely engaging to the students. So for example, I've just come from a science class where seniors are thinking about renewable sources of energy. And who is in the audience but someone from Michael Capuano's office, someone from the Boston Architectural Center, one of our founders, someone who has done more for solar energy in this area than anyone I can think of, and a visual artist who's passionate about green energy. So just by bringing people into the classroom, and
with
anyone,
people who have walked the talk.
Yes, any school can do that. Even in a rural area, there are people who want to come in.
And we are so rich in this city with people, and you are so bright to have reached out and
brought them in. So I think the key is, how do you develop curriculum that is engaging to students?
It is, but indeed, so often as not, teachers are told, this is not about being popular, this is not about making your student happy, this is, there are certain things here that you go boom, boom, boom. You seem to have taken the road in between those two. If you
Yes, well, I don't think that engagement means it has to be, the idea of engaging students doesn't mean it's not hard. What I saw students do today, or what I see students do in a ballet class, is very hard, and students are always expected to meet a very high standard of rigor, but that the way the teacher brings them into the classroom to the subject is the question of engagement.
Well, you also say in your book is you feel very strongly about teaching the student on their own terms. Now, Linda, isn't this somewhat impossible? Given the financial restraints on education today? I mean, isn't that like a dream? Or tell our viewers how you get to that point.
Well, I think that teachers need to know the whole child, and if you don't know who's in front of you, if you don't know why a student hasn't brought in their homework, if you don't know what's going on in a student's family, and I'm not saying teachers need to be social workers, but you must know the range of kids in front of you in order to teach them. If you don't know the whole child, how can you just teach a piece of content?
I think of so often, and this does not just apply to children of meager means. It applies to many dysfunctional families. And in private schools or wealthy suburbs, it's possible for the teacher to do this. And I worry as to how the teacher that's underfinanced can do this.
Well, I do speak in the book about the need for more money for urban schools. It's absolutely ridiculous to think that we can do what we do with less resources, and all you've got to do, and your viewers know this, look at our most well-resourced independent schools to know that that should be the norm for our public schools.
Linda, I couldn't agree more. And one of the things that I talk to people, and when it comes to education, is in not education the bright child, not educating the bright child on the street, we are cheating ourselves, because that bright child is going to find a way to get
No
back
matter
at us
what.
in a negative
Right,
way.
right.
So we cheat ourselves by not educating the child that might have, you know, broken the sound barrier or the stem cell research. He or she is out there, and it is people like you that are bringing this forth. But it is, I don't think people realize the necessity of the importance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we haven't given our public schools the commitment that they deserve. And, you know, I feel until we as a society do that, we're going to continue to lose generations of children.
Prestige, Linda, that the teacher deserves.
I agree. I
have
agree.
to say, I grew up in the 30s and the 40s, and the teacher was so revered and respected.
Yes.
And something happened after World War II, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave, I want to hear something, because I heard the young girl get up who went to Salem State Teachers College. I was very impressed. I almost came to tears listening to her, because she too realized what would have happened to her had she not been brought along by the Boston Arts Academy. Give us a few of your good stories.
Success stories.
Yes.
Well, Zadina is a wonderful success story who's now acting professionally. And she also worked with our students, helping them get into college. She came back to the school last year. We have students dancing with Alvin Ailey. We have students teaching theater in the Boston Public Schools. We have students who are nurses, social workers, teachers. We have students who want to be pharmacists. So the arts certainly prepare our students for all sorts of careers, and we're very proud of them.
Linda's book is The Hardest Questions Aren't Always on the Test. She teaches over at Harvard. She also is an educational consultant. She admits freely to some of the mistakes she's made, but she also shows how successful she has been in her rather unorthodox approach, but it is good for all of us. And Linda Nathan walks the talk. Thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much.